Hi, my name is Guy O'Lakin. I'm teaching College Physics 1 this semester. This video is just going to walk you through the syllabus, where you can find things this semester. Before I get into that, I want to talk about two things that have come up in the last few semesters a bit, I guess, since COVID started. The first one is I've had some issues with cheating. Largely, that's come through the website Chegg. So this website, it's this, and maybe you've heard of it before, but it lets people send in questions and there people answer the problems in math or physics or whatever, and then people post those as their own solutions, which is the problem. Basically, just avoid this website in this class. When people do present, turn in work that's done by the people at Chegg as their own work, I can always tell because I teach this stuff in a very different way than their people do, and so it's led to few people getting zeros on things and then F's in the class and whatever. So please don't turn in stuff that you get really from anybody outside of yourself, but particularly this website Chegg has been a problem. And then the other thing is the expected time commitment for this class. As physics classes go, I consider my class to be a pretty easy one. I have a lower time expectation than a lot of people do, but still, you're going to have to expect to spend, say, in the ballpark of 7 hours a week outside of the time you spend watching the lecture videos. So that's 7 hours of active working time, rereading through your notes, working on problems, in order to do well in this class. And if you don't put that amount of time in, it's very likely that you're not going to do well in this class. Also, you need to keep up with this class. I am going to have due dates on my assignments. That's to keep you on the schedule that will allow you to do well in this class. I will take stuff late, but in order for you to turn stuff in late, you have to contact me, excuse me, and tell me why, what's the reason that you had trouble getting it in on time, and we'll have to agree on a time that you're going to get it in by and that kind of stuff, okay? All of that is just so that I can help you stay on schedule, because getting way behind in this class almost always means that it doesn't get done. Okay, so those are the two main things. Like if you only take two things away from this little introductory video, those are my two main takeaways. But now I want to get into where you can find course material and get into the syllabus for the class. Okay, so if you go to the main Normandale webpage to get to D2L, click over here on this little drop-down menu and go to Current Students. And then D2L will be the first choice on the left. So everything in this class is going to be given to you through D2L. And if you have trouble logging into D2L, let me know, and I can get you pointed to the tech people who can help you get that straightened out. This is sections 11 and 12 of College Physics 1. That guy's Isaac Newton. He's sort of a key guy in this class, so that's why that picture is there. And the first thing you can see when you get into D2L is the announcements. There's a welcome, I have a second announcement here. Whenever I give a new assignment, a new video, anything like that, I'll put an announcement up. If it's a video that's on YouTube, I'll put a link to that video. So get in the habit of just every day, check the announcement, see if there's anything new. My plan is to just regularly post new lecture videos and notes every Tuesday and Thursday, and then post the lab every Friday. So it should be a pretty regular schedule that we're on in this class. To look at the syllabus, go to Content, and under Course Information in Content is the syllabus. And let me sort of walk you through the syllabus that talks about the structure of the class and everything. This is a 4-credit class. One of those credits goes to the lab and 3 go toward the class. That's where I get that rough expectation of 7 hours a week of time outside of the lecture videos that you'll need to spend on this class. There's no in-person meeting or in-person lab for this class, which really makes keeping on the schedule that much more important because it's so easy to get behind in classes like this. And that's why I'm going to make a major effort to keep you on schedule, make sure you're turning stuff in, doing stuff, at a reasonable pace to get this done. All of the lectures are going to be videos that will be on YouTube. Like I said, links to those videos are going to be in the announcements on D2L, so it should be easy to get around. There also will be lecture notes in the content. Let me show you where that'll be. So if you go to Content, and go to Lecture Notes, all of the notes to these videos are posted here. So you can print those out and take notes in the margins as you watch the video, or you can just watch the video and take your own notes. But these are here as a reference. And I think it's also helpful for just skimming as you try to refresh your memory on this material as you go forward. You are not going to need to use any textbooks in this class. I'm sorry for people who have already bought textbooks. I hope you don't have trouble returning those if you want to return them. The thing that happened was this class was scheduled to be taught by somebody else, and then credits had to be shifted around at the last minute. And so in my class, we won't be using the textbook, although that Giancoli textbook is a good reference for future reference if you're interested, but I know it's expensive, and I'm sorry about the confusion. In this class, you can get by without any textbooks or anything. All the information you need is going to be given in the lectures. The prerequisite for this class is college algebra. So if you haven't taken college algebra, you should probably email me and we should make sure that this is going to work for you. In some cases, it can work without college algebra, but we should at least talk about it. All of the assignments and all the materials are going to be given through D2L, like I said. So that's what to really keep your eye on for this class. And I didn't list any office hours here. I do have some in-person office hours if anybody's on campus regularly. And my office hours are in person are going to be from 12 to 1:20 on Mondays and from 1:30 to 2:50 on Thursdays. Those are all going to be in the tutoring center. So if you'd like to meet in person during those times, I'd be happy to do it. I also would be happy to meet in person or on Zoom on a case-by-case basis. Just send me an email and we can schedule a time that'll work for both of us. So that's really how I'm planning to do my discussions with you, is just scheduled one-on-one meetings through Zoom or in person, whatever works best for you. Here's a list of topics. If you're interested in reading ahead on this material, I think the best thing to do is just go through those notes that I just showed you that are in D2L and just skim through my lecture notes. You can get a sort of a sense of what kind of things we're going to be talking about in the class that way. The grading scale is going to be most likely 92 for an A, 82 for a B, 70 and 60. That sounds like a high, grading scale, but really that's just because I've found over the years that that's a grading scale where I get a pretty reasonable distribution of grades. What it reflects more than anything is just that on the assignments I give, the problems tend to be very similar to the problems you've done in your daily assignments, and also very similar to the example problems that I do in the lectures. And so I think you'll find it's not that hard to meet those grading criteria, as long as you're putting in a reasonable amount of time into this class. The weighting of the final grade is shown here. Weekly assignments are worth 50% of your grade, daily assignments are worth 20%, and labs are worth 30%. So I'm just going to now go through and describe what each of these things are. So first, the biggest part of your grade are the weekly assignments. Those are going to be solving problems. Probably about every 2 weeks, I'll give you one of these. And those will be, assignments the way you're used to doing assignments in math. You won't have access to solutions to these. You'll do these problems. You'll turn them in on D2L in the assignments in D2L. And you'll do that by either taking a photo or scanning your assignment and turning in a PDF. So since there are 16 weeks in the semester, that suggests that maybe there'll be 8 of these weekly assignments, somewhere around there. I'll drop the lowest weekly assignment score, and then your 50% of your grade for the weekly assignments will be made up of all the remaining ones, your highest, say 7 of those 8. I don't know for sure that there'll be 8, but somewhere in that ballpark, So you drop the lowest score, and all the others go into determining that 50% score. Like I said, you will not be given solutions to these problems. You have to do those on your own. But it is fine with me if you work with other students on these. The key thing is that you're not turning in identical assignments on these to other students. You can't turn in stuff that's been copied from one another. The way to work together on these assignments is to talk to each other, to gain an understanding of how to do the problems. And then when you actually do the problems, you need to do your own work, and you need to turn in your own work. Also, these grades will not be based on the answer that you give. It'll be graded on the steps that you follow to get to the answer. And so it's very important that you turn in all your steps, all your work for doing all of these problems. If you just turn in if you just turn in answers, even if the answers are correct, I don't have anything to base my grading on, and so you won't get a good score on that. Okay, it's important that you show your steps. 20% of your grade is going to come from the daily assignments. After every lecture that I assign, I'll give you problems to work on, daily assignment problems to work on. You will be given full solutions to these. It's expected that you will try to do these problems without looking at the solutions, and then just use the solutions if you get stuck, or if you get through it, you can check your work against the solutions after you're done. If all you're doing is copying the solutions and turning that in, you're not going to learn the material well enough to do well on the weekly assignments. Okay, so the key thing is you try to do these assignments without looking at the solutions, and then just use the solutions as needed after or during working on those problems. Just like the weekly assignments, you're going to turn these in on D2L as picture files or PDF files. And I'll drop the lowest 2 daily assignment scores from your grade. By the way, I'm not going to grade these. The weekly assignments, I'm going to grade carefully as if they were tests. The daily assignments, I'm not going to. I'm just going to be checking to make sure that you're turning these in. But you'll get the most out of them if you treat them the same way that you treat the weekly assignments. Try to do them very carefully, get everything right. That's the way to learn this material well, and then that's the way to do well on the weekly assignments later. And then lab assignments, this is 30% of your grade. Every Friday, I'm going to assign a worksheet of problems for you to complete and a video describing how to go through these. These worksheets, instead of focusing on problem solving, are going to focus on physics intuition. And you'll have a week to work on these, each one of these labs. These will be submitted the same as the other assignments in D2L using a picture file or a PDF file. And in giving you your lab assignment score, I'll drop the lowest score. Okay, the cheating policy, I don't want to keep belaboring that. I already talked about that a bit, but any just direct copying from other students or direct copying from a website or any other source is cheating, so don't do that. If the work is being copied from a source that isn't connected to my class, you know, an outside website or something, it's pretty easy for me to tell when it's happening. So please don't get caught up in that. And then the last bit of information is information about the OSD office at Normandale, which is a really useful resource. Okay, well, that's really all for this class. And with the next, so the first assignment is just reading through the syllabus, making sure you understand all this stuff, familiarize yourself with D2L. And then the next assignment I give is going to be finally, you know, getting into the start of the class, starting to learn some things about units, unit conversion, scientific notation, things like that. Please send me emails if you have questions, or send me emails and just say hi, or stop by and say hi in person if you're around. I know sometimes these online classes can feel sort of impersonal, so maybe we can fix that. Yeah, I hope everything gets off to a smooth start for you this semester, and I will talk to you soon.